Mark students' despair.
We are trying to reach out to a few lawyers.
Kazinda woes still on. Actually, MP staff
We want our people to heal by seeing Kazinda and Bijirimana.
And MTN diversifies. Hello and welcome to Platinum News on this 19th of February, the year 2013. Good evening, and thank you so much for watching MBS Television News Resource. It's time for Platinum News, and my name's Aldo Rinkelhand with the main stories. Now, after 2 strikes in a week over the controversial 60% fees policy, Macquarie University students are now seriously considering Plan B. They are asking government to expedite the implementation of the long-awaited students' loan scheme as the best way to save them from the persistent fees challenges. Following the strike on Monday, the university's Vice Chancellor, Professor John Duba-Sentam, insisted that the requirement to pay 60% of all fees within 6 weeks of a new semester will not be scrapped, as the students had demanded. Salman Amanja is remaining on that story.
Macquarie University students seem to have realized that persistent running battles with police and differences with the administration have not yielded results. They say if government implements the students' loan scheme, they will pay tuition in time.
Instead of forcing a policy that is not welcome to students, you ally with the students, convincing Mr. Government to implement the students' loan scheme.
But if government does not show a firm commitment to set up the scheme, the students are vowing to take the university to court, and they are already consulting their lawyers.
We are trying to reach out to a few lawyers who are willing to help us.
They also caution the university administration that if they close and send them home over the fees impasse, they will not return until the new policy is scrapped. Information Minister in the Students' Guild, Moses Cheune, addressed journalists on behalf of Guild President Ivan Carter, whose whereabouts are unclear following his arrest on Monday during the strike.
You need to help us.
Democratic Party President Norbert Mao visited Kira Road and Wandega police stations to check on the students arrested during their strike.
I can't read out that this place, those things doesn't have politics. It has politics in it because the government started the politics. That means he has admitted to me that it is politically motivated. At
least 19 students, including 1 female, were arrested during the day-long strike at the university and are expected to be produced in court. These are detained in Kawempe, Wandege and Kira Road police stations. Commander Special Operations Kampala Metropolitan Sam Omala says the students will be produced in court in 48 hours for charges of inciting violence and destroying property.
We are taking these boys and the girls to court as an example, as a case study.
Omala says one of the complainants is the director Macquarie Business Institute, whose car windscreen was smashed by rowdy students. He warns that most arrests will be made if the students remain unruly. Macquarie University LC5 Councillor Bernard Luiga was detained at Kira Road alongside the students.
My being here for me, I have no problem, but the students, their leaders are going to demand for their release and may cause other consequences which are undesirable.
Police have boosted the security of the Vice Chancellor and other university officials after threats were made to their lives.
Saying they want the head of the Vice Chancellor. At night, the students started rioting, putting campfiring. We can't stand this.
Police are also maintaining 24-hour surveillance of the university to keep law and order since campaigns to elect new guild presidents and whole leaders are going on. Salman Amwanje, Waswa Hassan, NBS Television.
Thank you, Salman Amwanje, for that story. Meanwhile, the interdicted principal accountant of the Office of the Prime Minister, Jeffrey Kazinda, has lost a court petition challenging his rearrest and trial at the Anti-Corruption Court. Kazinda had asked the Constitutional Court to release him unconditionally and also block his trial to enjoy the bail earlier granted to him.
The ruling was served by Arias Chisauzi, the registrar at the Constitutional Court, on behalf of Justice Stephen Kavuma, A.S. Nshimye, and Remy Kasule. The interdicted principal accountant at the office of the Prime Minister, Geoffrey Kazinda, appeared at the Constitutional Court with his lawyer, Ambrose Tibiasa, for the final ruling in the petition challenging his trial at the Anti-Corruption Court and rearrest. In the petition, he had claimed that his detention was not fair because he was detained for more than 48 hours without being taken to court.
We find the applicant has not made out a case to be granted the relief he seeks in the application. We dismiss the same with the cost to the respondent.
The petition further stated that he had been denied bail though he was sick, and also continued trial even when his health was not good. He also clearly states that DPP holds him guilty alone in this case, yet there were other suspects, and that the state agents had not obeyed the orders by the magistrate at the Buganda Road Court for his bail, and therefore should pay him for the damages incurred. The Constitutional Court rather threw out this petition, and that he has to incur the costs involved. The ruling further states that the DPP should be left to carry out his work without interference. According to Kazinda's petition, the Director of Public Prosecution and the police faulted when they rearrested him, yet the Anti-Corruption Court had granted him bail. Kazinda was rearrested at Case Clinic where he had gone to seek medical attention. Kazinda, through his lawyers, wanted the court to let him enjoy his bail. He challenged Section 11(1) of the Anti-Corruption Courts under which he is facing trial. Becca Zena, NBS Television.
Meanwhile, the interdicted Permanent Secretary John Kashaka Mhangus has reappeared before the Lady Justice Grace Bamujemere at the Anti-Corruption Court over charges causing a financial loss of over 4.5 billion shillings in a bicycle scam, as we do get details on this report.
The state has today finished its submissions to pin the interdicted permanent secretary in Ministry of Local Government, paving way for the defense to present its case. The state fronted 13 witnesses against John Kashaka and others, pinning them onto the bicycle scam that caused loss of government money totaling to over 4.5 billion Uganda shillings. The last witness for the state, Mr. Musumba Anthony, who worked as the head of quality control in the Bank of Uganda, clarified that the solicitation documents were not in conformity with the LC terms. He has also showed that the dispatch note of bicycles, the invoice and the bill of lading were showing a destination of Kampala, Uganda, instead of villages or parishes. John Kashaka is charged with cases of illegal soliciting of documents of bidders for the procurement of the 70,000 bicycles and advising bidders to ignore technical specifications without reference to the Contracts Committee as required by law and procurement procedures. He is charged with others that include Bamutula Henry, Mwebaze Robert, Sam Emorot Erongot, Mushere Timothy, and Aluma Adam. According to the defense lawyer, their defense will heavily rely on the prosecution presentations, especially the witnesses fronted. The case has been adjourned to 19th and 20th of March 2013. This report was compiled by Sauya Ramadan for NBS Television.
Now, a host of members of parliament hailing from the Acholi sub-region have criticized the manner in which the opium scam has been handled. The MPs argue that some officials behind the scam are being isolated, while others implicated are using their status to avoid responsibility. They threaten to seek redress from the international community for the suspects to be tried in the International Criminal Court.
Demonstrations in Uganda have become a common thing to the extent that even the slightest issues is solved through demonstrations.
Unity is strength. Down with the thieves.
But these Acholi MPs say that their demonstration is one of a kind, since it's going to be taken abroad to the international community for better redress.
The Acholi leaders are going to organize peaceful demonstrations in all cities in the diaspora where our people live.
The MPs led by Aru County Odonga Oto and National Female Youth MP Monica Amoding say that trying suspects from Kampala is another rigor to the people in the north. They argue that suspects should be taken to Gulu since the victims of their vice are in northern Uganda, not Kampala.
We want our people to heal by by seeing Kazinda and Bijirimana.
We also demand that government under Chief Justice issues a directive that trials of the OPM scandal suspects be taken to northern Uganda.
The 1995 Constitution of the Republic of Uganda stipulates that an individual is innocent until proven guilty, meaning that provision of bail to suspects is inevitable. The MPs are now pulling another shot at the opium scam suspects as they want them denied certain liberties like travels abroad.
In case our campaigns at The Hague does not amount to instituting criminal prosecutions on those individuals, then we would also pray, using diplomatic encounters, that these people be given travel bans.
Aru County MP Odonga Oto thinks that having such people tried in the International Criminal Court will not only project Uganda as a country devoted to fighting corruption, but also send a message to every individual around the world intending to misuse donor funds.
The International Criminal Court considers launching preliminary inquiries whether crimes against humanity can be instituted on the likes of Kazinda, who stole public money to settle people in northern Uganda, and people remain dying in camps in thousands, and he built personal empires in Kampala.
Jordan Muwangizi, NBS Television, Parliament.
In more news tonight, Citizens for Electoral Democracy in Uganda, CEDU, a non-government organization, say the levels at which the courts of law award by-election ruling for different election petitions is worrying. CEDU presented its private observation monitoring report to the Electoral Commission today, highlighting the need to reduce public expenditure on avoidable by-elections.
Citizens for Electoral Democracy in Uganda, CEDU, claim that a lot of public funds is spent in by-elections that would otherwise be avoided if there was well-coordinated primary scrutiny of candidates before the national elections. An estimate of 4.55 billion shillings is said to have been spent on by-elections alone in 2012. This puts more pressure on the scarce public resources that would have been allocated to more viable sectors such as health.
We are calling upon the Electoral Commission to be very stringent in terms of vetting and scrutinizing qualifications of candidates at the nomination process. We are calling upon even the general public to be keen on the nomination process.
The most recent figures indicate that over 11 by-elections, mostly district level and parliamentary representation, were held last year emerging out of election court petitions. It has turned out to be almost obvious that every political petition ends with a by-election. The prominent by-elections include the one of Bushenyi, Entebbe, Jinja East, Luwero, Bukoto South, Butambala County, Kamuli LC5 seat, Usuk County, Kasese Woman MP, Butambala County, Busiro North, Kwen County, and the recent one in Butaleja, with each costing at least 500 million Uganda shillings. CEDU also blames the increased decline in voter turnout to massive deployment by police, the army, and private detectives that create a sense of fear and tension among voters. During the most recent by-election in Butaleja, some voters were denied access to voting premises, creating urgency for police and electoral commission to close monitoring.
We are calling upon the police to be rational in terms of the numbers, men and women, that are deployed to observe an election.
However, Jotham Taremwa, the head of Public Relations, Electoral Commission, has condemned the manner in which CEDU presented its findings, saying they needed to be more formal, but promised to discuss the draft report on Friday this week before making reactions to it.
The draft was not, of course, formally addressed to the Electoral Commission, and it did not have signatures, although we received it, but we said you go formally address this draft to the Electoral Commission, sign it.
In response to Forum for Democratic Change move to drag Electoral Commission to court, the electoral observers see no cause in the move, citing they did not notice any major disruptions in the electoral process, but the Electoral Commission awaits the grounds upon which FDC is to file their plight. Zahra Namuli, NBS Television.
Still watching Platinum News, we now take a very short break, but stay with us because more is still ahead.
Hello at the beach. Yeah, man, way. Actually, I'm at the beach having fun. You know, I have free chorus. I am best recording everybody. Don't get off the ride. I'm going to get back at you. I'm surrender. Actually, I'm calling everybody. Don't get off the ride. I'm going to get back at you. Oh, Musei. Actually, I've forgotten what I wanted to tell you. But you remain on the ride. As soon as I remember, I will get back at you. Yeah, MTN.
Enjoy free MTN weekend calls. Load a total of 2,000 shillings or more between Monday and Friday. Dial star 188 hash to activate free MTN weekend calls.
MTN. Everywhere you go.
Go TV, entertaining Africa, a product of MultiChoice.
Glad you're still with us. Now the embattled Pioneer Easy Bus Company is a victim of a bad business model. This is according to a leading expert in urban development, Dr. Amin Tamale Chigunda, lecturer in Makerere University's College of Design, Art and Technology. Pioneer also entered the city's transport sector at a time of economic difficulties, and the company never recovered from those challenges, leading to its current tax woes. Uganda Revenue Authority recently impounded all the company's 100 buses for defaulting on taxes. Lydia Nabakoza is following the troubled Pioneer Easy Bus Company's stories.
Pioneer Easy Bus Company entered into Kampala's chaotic public transport scene in March 2012, following commuter taxi strike after government asked the company to jump in to close the transport gap. Subsequently, controversy arose on the nature of company's contract with Kampala Capital City Authority. Besides, KCCA complained that Pioneer owed it over 3 billion shillings in license fees.
Into the recommendations that have been made by members of parliament, and once we are done with going through that, we shall move and give guidance on the way forward.
Now, an urban development and planning consultant urges that the odds were stacked against Pioneer so much that is a miracle they survived for nearly a year on the road. At the time Pioneer began work, inflation was at a record high and bank interest rates were high as well, yet the company took a loan. Dr. Mintamale Chigundu says this is the source of company's troubles.
In a way, Pioneer Bus and other bus companies have been hit by this problem. Government need to improve the way the economy is being managed. There is no clear policy. And the policy is supposed to guide the investors in this area.
On Monday, Uganda Revenue Authority gave Pioneer until 27th February to clear its outstanding tax obligation of 8 billion shillings in customs tax, or else lose the impounded 100 buses in a public auction. But Dr. Chigundu is asking URA to reconsider this drastic move. Since public transport is a critical public good that should not be provided with a profit motive and is the best by the state. He calls for incentives to investors like Pioneer.
We actually need a regulatory authority for public transport in Kampala, which is manned by people of skill and power, just like KCCA has been transformed.
Dr. Chigundu, who has done a lot of research on Kampala's urban challenges, says 50% of the city's residents walk to work from their homes daily and therefore don't use any public or private means of transport. 20% use private cars, and the remaining 30% use public transport like boda boda and the commuter taxis. So a privately owned bus company like Pioneer has to operate in this restrictive market, exposing them to many costs and the risks.
A way of promoting public transport, I think it is important that these low capacity systems like minibuses, like border borders are phased out. and maybe allowed to complement the services of public transport.
He therefore urges that the owners of Pioneer Easy Bus should have easily seen the inevitable downfall coming, and potential investors should learn from this.
We need a transport policy, and maybe within KCC they need to set up a directorate for public transport management.
Nabakoza Lydia, NBS Television, Business.
Still in business, we now take a look at how the dollar is faring against the shilling in our financial report tonight.
Shake up your senses at a refreshing price.
You're still watching Platinum News. Moving on, the second fastest growing telecom service provider in the world, MTN continues to coil up more innovations in the telecommunications sector as she puts telecom competition at a high stake. MTN Uganda, subsidiary of the MTN Group, is now putting more access on person-to-business transactions. The MTN mobile money service is to diversify into catering for all the daily transactions that an individual can tally.
We want the consumers and the customers not only to transfer funds to their relatives and friends and to their brothers and sisters. We also want them to use the mobile money system to pay bills, to pay in the shops, to pay in the salon, in the gym, in the taxi, to the mechanics.
But with the growth in mobile money transactions, fraud-related risks have increased, thus requiring service providers to adjust their systems to ensure customer safety. Huge sums of money are transacted through mobile money daily, making the platform the biggest channel of financial transactions compared to conventional banking. Data from Bank of Uganda indicates that the number of mobile money transactions has been growing tremendously. However, has MTN Uganda been able to control risks of money laundering related to the mobile money platform?
Successfully arrested all the people involved, and they were prosecuted within 2 weeks. This is really an evidence how MTN, in collaboration with the National Police, with the IGP team, with the Special Investigation Units, and all people who are related to the security in this country, are all working together to secure the mobile money service.
Uganda Communications Commission on March 1st last year embarked on the mandatory SIM registration exercise to last 1 year. A few days to the deadline, however, the various telecommunication companies are scaling up efforts to have all their customers registered before the close date.
Our registration activities doesn't close on the 28th of February. However, we invite all the customers to make sure all their SIMs are registered we are making sure that all our service centers.
As the government and other stakeholders continuously set up efforts to bridge the digital divide for full integration into the digital revolution, MTN Uganda plans to deploy long-term evolution network in Uganda during the coming months as a framework for increasing the number of internet users in the country from just 3.2 million Ugandans.
2012, we have seen a 100% increase in the number of customers who have used internet network, MTN network, to access the internet. 100% increase means currently we have almost 1.2 million customers using the MTN service on daily basis to access the internet. That's really show how the internet access is becoming very popular and really very important for the Ugandan at this stage.
This report was compiled by Nankwanga Eunice Kasidie for NBS Television Business.
In sports, Uganda's #1 badminton challenger Edwin Ekling may miss this year's Uganda's international tournament, slated for Thursday this week at Lugogo due to unavoidable circumstances.
Sources from Badminton Federation have it that the local champion is currently abroad, stranded working on his expired travel documents and his work permit. The national team risks paying a fine of $500 if Ekling misses the opening match on Thursday this week. 10 foreign countries, including Germany, Italy, Scotland and Hungary, have confirmed their entry and they are expected to land in tonight. Now, the local federation has listed senior players and experts to represent the country and defending the trophy won last year. Those listed are Tukire Wilson, Sona Brian, Mihingo Dan, among many. The Ugandan International Tournament will be both single and double. At the end, the winner will walk away with $1,500, cutters of fresh dairy and badminton. The national team is in its last tests at Lugogo. Kabari Ivan Elvis, Chibaris John, NBS Sport.
In most sports, the confusion in the National Amateur Boxing Body has not limited the turn-up for this year's National Novice Boxing Championship that kicked off today at the Centenary Park on Ginger Road.
Over 20 boxing clubs countrywide presented boxers to compete for this year's event. In the opening fight, Mugisha Patrick of East Coast Boxing Club knocked by Kasangan Bashir of Vegetarian by 3-0 points. Tende Hassan Jakbis got a walkaway win in the absence of the opponent, Odong Commander from Entebbe Boxing Club. Kagabi Ashraf from Barara beat Waiswa Chinji of Kororo High after scoring 3 points in the third last round to assure the judges of his strength against his opponent. Biarhanga Andrew of KCCA and Sekai Ivan from Shine and Rise Boxing Club boxers and Biarhanga expressed the talent and interest of the game, which left the audience in suspense. The tournament is organized by the Nyakana camp to prepare for the forthcoming National Open and All Africa Games as the country awaits the International Boxing Federation communication over the two warring camps between Chambade and Nyakana over leadership. Kabari Ivan Elvis, Chibaris John, NBS Sport.
Express your style with O. Black, contoured, and studded for extra pleasure. Tonight I want to show you all my love. O, it's all about your lifestyle. Look out for O in your favorite hangout countrywide.
Hello, at the busy. Yeah, man, way. Actually, I'm at the beach having fun. You know, I have free chorus. I am best recording everybody. Don't get off the rain. I'm going to get back at you. Aha, I'm surrender. Actually, I'm calling everybody. Don't get off the rain. I'm going to get back at you. Oh, Musei. Actually, I've forgotten what I wanted to tell you. But you remain on the rain. As soon as I remember, I will get back at you. Yeah, MTN.
Enjoy free MTN weekend calls. Load a total of 2,000 shillings or more between Monday and Friday. Dial star 188 hash to activate free MTN weekend calls.
MTN. Everywhere you go.
To the end of Platinum News tonight. However, let's take a look at some of the leading stories that did feature in tonight's newscast. Mag students despair.
We are trying to reach out to a few lawyers.
Kazinda was still on. Actually, MPs tough on graft.
By seeing Kazinda and Bijirimana.
And MTN diversifies.
100% increase in the number of customers who have.
Now this brings us to the end of our English bulletin tonight, but remember to catch these stories and so much more in our next bulletin. Amaudide Kusatu. I've been the Rincom Hunch. Till next time, have a very good night.
Hello, at the busy. Yeah, man, way.